what I realized today is that my course is designed. I am interested in working with individuals and preparing you to actually make this a lifestyle shift, to actually make plans.
Welcome to the Grown and Vegan Life podcast. I am your host, Dieta Rodi. I am a breast cancer survivor and vegan health and wellness coach. I remove barriers for individuals who desire to transition to a vegan lifestyle or recover from illness. I believe that God created us to be healthy, and when we give our body what it needs and have the correct mindset, we can achieve and maintain optimal health. On this podcast, we talk about being vegan from the perspective of being healthy, and we take a deep dive into the other areas of our lives like relationships, money, and mindset. The ultimate goal is to be whole and to experience joy in our lives, not just our eating. So we look at both practical and spiritual ways to experience optimal health. The main thing to remember is that nothing in this show is meant to replace medical advice from a trained professional. I am sharing my experience and the experience of my guest. Please use wisdom and take what you feel will work for you. Now, let's get started with today's episode.
My name is Dieta Rodi. I am the founder of the Grown and Vegan Wellness Company. I am a vegan health and wellness coach. And I want to get on here today and talk to you about hype versus reality. I got this idea just this morning, and so it got me to the point where I wanted to come on and speak about this on live and just share this information because I noticed something that happened. So let me just give you the whole gamut of everything, the reason why I want to share this. So I recently launched a beginner vegan course. This course is designed to help you to transition to a vegan lifestyle within 3 days because the course takes place over the course of 3 days. But transitioning to becoming vegan can take 3 days. It can take 1 day, but it can also take a while. So it's basically just structured like that to help you to have bite-sized pieces of the information, and I'm providing a baseline or a basic foundation for you to help you to get all the information that you would need to make that decision, whether, to transition into vegan lifestyle, to help you to understand what to expect, to help you to get started in that journey, because it is a journey. Some people can jump into it and go full in, but many of us need time to transition. When I started, I was not fully vegan. I was vegetarian. And then I, transitioned into vegan. And so in this course, I am giving you that transition information. I'm giving you all the background. But the reason why I wanted to share that is because what I have discovered, I had people test out the course, to try the course for me, to give me some feedback, to let me know how this works. Does it give you what you need? Is it helping you to make this decision? Do you feel more confident with this? All of those things. And so I had some interesting response and reply. Good response, but also some feedback, constructive response. So the initial response, one of the initial responses, shared that, there was information that kind of scared them basically about doing vegan. It made them kind of put on pause, and to the point that I haven't really heard any more about it. It doesn't seem like there's any more interest in that just because of what I shared in the course. And so, initially I was alarmed. I was like, oh my goodness, I don't want to scare people away from this lifestyle. I don't want you to feel like this is a horrible thing. I mean, obviously many people are being helped by being vegan. Many people are being healed. Their lives are being transformed. So if I'm saying something that's making you feel different, then I need to address that. I want to understand, I want to figure this out. So I went back to the course. The individual gave me quite a bit of constructive information that I wove back into the course. There were some things I didn't feel I needed to change. But there were some things that I did go ahead and adjust in the course because of that. So I reformatted the course. I feel better about it. I did appreciate the information. It really sparked something in me and just made me go a little bit harder and made me feel like I produced something even better this next time around. So I have had others testing the course for me. Now, I've had interest in it and excitement about it, but after the course, the excitement was gone. And so here I am again thinking, okay, what in the world, what is happening? And somebody is working outside, so I don't know if you can hear that sound. They're working outside, so I apologize. But what is that about this course that is deflating people? Am I causing people not to be excited anymore? Am I deflating them? And I don't want to do that. I don't want people to not be excited about veganism or transitioning to plant-based lifestyle. But what I realized today is that my course is designed. I am interested in working with individuals and preparing you to actually make this a lifestyle shift, to actually make plant-based a long-term decision. So what that means is that I have to give you the information to help you to make that decision, to give you all of the information. Many times people, and I'm not saying necessarily that these individuals that have tested my course or who are testing my course feel this way, but it helped me to understand a point. Because life happens, things happen. But what I do know is that many times we get excited with the idea of a thing and not the reality of it. We are excited with, oh, this is something cool to do, and I want to jump on this. But then when we get into it, we understand, man, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if this is really what I want to do. And so for me, I am the type of coach that I want to give you all of the information, and I like to go to the root of things because it really is more than what is going on our plate. We have to address our mindset. We have to address the environment we are in. We have to address our feelings and our emotions. So many things are connected to our food. So many things are connected to what we put on our plate. It's more than what is on our plate. Food symbolizes, and I've talked about this before in other episodes on the Grown and Vegan Life podcast. I have discussed this of how I went through this past Thanksgiving. I went through a type of grieving process over certain foods. Because it wasn't that I was tempted or I wanted to eat the Thanksgiving meal. It was really about what the Thanksgiving meal symbolizes in my life and in my family, in my history. And not having those foods, not sharing those certain foods with my family, not even preparing those foods. I went through some grieving about that. And so that is why I'm saying that we really, when we are making this decision about going plant-based, we're making this decision about being vegan, we need to understand that we have to address the whole thing. And that's why I teach and share a holistic approach to going vegan, a holistic approach to going plant-based. I want to help you to navigate through those emotions, navigate through what that really means. because we try to change, we try to make lifestyle changes from our will, from our, willpower. I can do this. I'm going to do this. That's hype. We get hyped up. But what happens when that excitement wears off? It's just like people making New Year's resolutions. They start off the year excited and hyped up, and then a couple weeks down the road, a situation in life happens, an emotional situation. Something may go off on our job, something may go off in our relationship, something may go off in our finances, and then we don't know what to do, because now we need to go to comfort food. Now we need to go to try to go to certain things, and we don't know how to navigate through this season now because we don't have the tools in place. And so, when we make a lifestyle change, we have to learn, we have to incorporate skills, and we have to build skills to help us to navigate through those things. Because if we don't, then those situations that come up will always gravitate us back to old patterns, back to old ways. I have felt it. I have experienced, a desire to do, certain things that soothe us, soothe me. Food soothes us. Foods can be used to soothe us. It can be used to comfort us in various moods, in various situations. So we have to understand that we have to have things in place when we are trying to really make a lifestyle change. And so that is what my goal is to help people when they are dealing with certain things. It's no disrespect or no judgment if you revert back to something because of whatever you're dealing with. But what I want to help you do is not have to do that, to know how to handle those situations and not use food as comfort. We have to get to a place, and I won't say not use food as comfort, because I do that. But I've learned how, I do that at times, but I've learned how to use food, even plant-based food. You develop a different taste. But I try not to use that all the time, because I have the skills, and where we get to a point now, my focus in eating has shifted to eating for purpose, eating with purpose, and not eating just to eat, not just eating just because I'm hungry. I talk about in the course of getting a blood test, a full panel blood test, to have a baseline for your numbers. I recently had this done, and as part of an annual physical, I recently had that blood work completed. I asked for that. I requested. You may have to ask your doctor. Your doctor doesn't necessarily going to just do it. But you have to ask them, I want to get the numbers for certain things. This helped me to get information. It helped me to understand, I need to look at cholesterol. I need to look at my A1C. I discovered, I never even heard of that or looked at that before, but I learned some information about that. So it shifted the way that I'm eating. Eating vegan can also be unhealthy. You can eat plant-based and not be healthy. There are so many things that people are doing with food. We have these fast food restaurants that are coming out with different alternatives. We have all of these pre-made vegan things. They're processed as well. So they aren't healthy for us. It's not just because they're vegan. People just want to jump on them because they're vegan. Even in my city where I live, I'm a little turned off, and I'll be honest, I'm a little turned off by restaurants. I'm excited that they're vegan restaurants, but I get turned off when they just always want to use these, I'm not going to call a name or a brand, but they always want to use these pre-made vegan meats that are out instead of making the replacements. To me, that would be so much more meaningful. It's like a crutch to use those. I've not eaten them before. I've not tried them just because I'm turned off by them. I'm not saying if you eat them that it's bad, if that's what you want to do, but it's really, are we replacing one habit for another habit? Are we replacing one bad habit for another bad habit just because it has the title of vegan? I think we have to ask that question and really dig into it. My goal, like I've said before, people go vegan for different reasons. There are so many different reasons. And I was a little stumped before because I was like, well, okay, there's two reasons. You go vegan because you wanted to save the animals, or you go vegan because of health. Personally, I am vegan because of health. I went vegan because it was suggested to me to go vegan, to go plant-based. They didn't really say vegan. They said plant-based, and I just went full all in. But, people have different reasons. Sometimes the environment, there's other things, and I'm drawing a blank again about all the various reasons, but people have their own reasons for it. And, we have to understand that with that, if you are going vegan just because, okay, say you're just going vegan because the animals and not necessarily health reasons. There's a lot of vegan junk food out. There's a lot of vegan processed foods out. It's a money maker now because people are wanting, there's a demand for it. So people are going to try to create different products to sell. That's all it's about. It's not because there's this big awakening that people are suddenly, okay, now it's plant-based. No, it's the demand for it. So they're making the products to make money. That's the bottom line. So we still have to have skills in place to be healthy. We still have to realize that we have a responsibility to, if we're doing it for our health, if we want to be healthy, we have to be strategic, in other words, with our eating. And so that's why my focus is about purposeful eating with purpose. Since I got that information regarding my blood work, it has shifted me in the way that I'm eating. I've been on this journey for almost fully vegan, almost a year. I've been vegetarian over a year. And so this has allowed me, I've been able to enjoy, I've looked at it kind of like this. I've spent this year or so getting my groove, getting my bearings, understanding what it's like to really live this life long term, going through various emotions, experiencing the times when you feel a little singled out because you might be the only vegan in your family, you may be the only vegan in your social circle. People want to, either they will invite you or they won't invite you based on whether you're going to eat or not, turning down invitations because of the restaurant choice. Because I refuse to put myself in a situation where I'm just going to be able to eat bread and water. No, thank you. I'm not going to do that. We need to be able to have a restaurant that is conducive for both of us. If you want to eat that meat, that's fine, but can I have some options too? So, I just refuse. That's just a personal thing for me. I'm not going to put myself, because I don't want people to feel sorry for me. Don't feel sorry for me because it's not that I can't eat meat. I make a choice not to eat it. It's not that I can't eat plant or animal products. I make a decision not to eat them because I'm doing it for my health. And a lot of times people, I'm starting to understand that people, there are people who live a long time and still eat meat. There are people who live a long time and don't get sick and still eat meat. I get that. But when you get a realization that you may not be one of those, and you want to make sure that you do what you can to preserve your life, to rebuild your life, to be healthy, then you do it. Everybody's journey is not the same. And I share that, and I'm very honest in my course. I'm not trying to convince people to be vegan. I love for you to be vegan. I feel that it's beneficial, but that's not my job to try to force you to do it, convince you to do it, trick you into it, guilt you into it, preach you into it. That's not my position. My position is when you decide that I want to do something for my body, I want to love myself in that way that I am, choosing to eat things that my body was designed to eat. My body was designed to eat plants. When I want to make that decision, I'm here to help you to do that. That's my position with it. It's not to try to force you. It's not to make you feel like you got to explain to me when you decide that you want to eat meat. That's between you and you. That I don't have anything to do with that. That is your decision. But when you really want to make a lifestyle change, I'm here to help you. Because I'm here to help you do the work. There's work required. There's work. You have to uncover what's really going on inside. And that's what I teach. That's what I help. I want to take you into that journey of unpacking the emotional stuff that's connected to what you're eating. If you're feeding yourself things that aren't healthy, then you have to kind of look at why. Why is it hard for me not to eat this? I just did a 5-day detox recently, and it was actually a challenge for me, and it made me kind of like hold my breath a minute. I'm like, I've been doing this doing this vegan thing for a while, but I've never really went to this extreme to where I'm doing a meal prep and I'm eating just the same food. I did a meal prep and I made certain meals for 5 days. And I'll be honest, I probably won't do it that way again. The concept of it was to get rid of bread, get rid of pasta, to decrease the sugar in my diet. I was successful in getting rid of the bread and getting rid of the pasta. I replaced rice for quinoa. I cut that out. I stuck to mainly the meat, the meals that I was to eat. I made 2 main meals, and I had a snack, and I had a smoothie, which I share all of that information, exactly how I did it, on my website at grownandvegan.com if you want to check that out. I'm sharing all of that information, and I also made a video to go with it, all of those things to show you what I did. But what I realized about day 3 is I started getting bored with just eating the same thing. So for me to do that, I would want to have more of a variety of foods that I could eat during that time. So the next time I do this, I will have more foods that I can eat. Eating the same thing over and over again just was really hard. So I don't see how people do that for a whole week, maybe even longer. It was messing with my mind. I had to, I took one of my meals and I wanted something hot because the meals I had, they were raw basically. The sweet potatoes I cooked then, but they were cold. And so I, one day I took the kale and I made that, sauteed the kale, add the quinoa and added the sweet potatoes in there instead of just eating it cold. And so it was really good. It felt good in my body. It tasted great. So there was just a little variation that I did. But, I learned that was a challenge for me. That was a growth spurt for me. And that's what we do in this journey with eating. We can challenge ourselves. We can move forward. We can develop those skills. It's a skill. Eating, we have been trained by our society that eating is about friends and family. It's about social gatherings. It's about celebration. It's about comfort. It's about making ourselves feel good. There's foods that have things that raise our serotonin and they make us feel better. There's foods that make us comforted and all of those things that really, to be honest, you guys, food is not really meant for that. That is not the purpose of food. But because of the way people can make food taste and make it be, that's what it can do. And so it has those abilities. I am a believer. And so for me, God has to be that place where I run to for the comfort. God has to be that place that I glean my comfort from. So when I'm using food, then I have to check and see what's going on there. I have to check and see what's going on there. And I'm telling you that relationship has really made the difference in me even being able to sustain this vegan journey. I believe that I was led to this plant-based living, and I've been guided and have the grace for that. Having the grace for it is having the ability to do it. And so, there may be times when you don't feel like you have that. It just may not be your thing. There are many things, and that is what I share in my course. I'm just helping you to break down and get the decision. I think that, of course, I want people to really jump on board, get started, and go for it. But if my course is really helping you to understand, okay, I need to really think through this decision. Maybe I'm just hyped up and think that this is just one thing, but it's not. I'm trying to help you to understand the reality of what it is. It is a lifestyle change. It's just like when people go on they say diet. I don't think diets really are successful. Lifestyle changes are successful. When you make a lifestyle change, that's what helps you to meet those goals and accomplish those fitness goals, accomplish those health goals. I have been blessed since I have been on this journey. Now, I made a few changes prior to this, but this plant-based journey has been the one thing that has taken it over the top. But I've been blessed to be taken off of high blood pressure medication. I don't want to live on that. I don't want to keep taking that. I felt very adamant that I needed to get off of it. And so, there's just things that, are you willing to do that? We can't have, people want our cake and eat it too. Yeah, you can have vegan cake. But even if I ate vegan cake every day, that's probably not going to be good for me. So it's, you have to be willing to make a sacrifice for certain things. And this plant-based lifestyle is no different. It's not an easy, magic thing. Even though some people will try to portray it as such, that's not it. And so I'm just that person that's going to give you the real on this. I'm not going to give you hype. I'm going to give you the reality of it. I'm helping you to understand all the things that you may experience. I shared, that some people experience low energy. I did a questionnaire on my Instagram page. Some people did not experience that, but there have been a few who have. The thing of it is, your body, when you are going vegan, you have to understand your body is detoxing. If you go on a fast, you're going to have low energy probably. It's no different. Your body's detoxing. So you may have low energy. I have had previous health situations. So my energy level, I couldn't base it just on me because I experienced that at times. But I have been able to, it's not like that now. So it's not something that lasts forever. It may be just a short-term thing. And you may have to supplement. You may have to, some people aren't with the supplements. I understand you can get that from your food if you're eating it right. So there's just some different things that you may have to do. We each are different. Our bodies are different. We have to pay. That's why I guess my main point in what I'm trying to say is it's not a one size fit all type of thing. Period. Eating, period. It's not a one size fits all thing. You need to look at yourself as an individual, the different things that you may face, your history, your genetics, your whatever, all of those different things that may come into play in your health. So a holistic approach to transitioning to vegan is what I advocate and what I suggest. Hype will not sustain you in a lifestyle change. When you want to do, I wrote this down, this quote, this thing, this nugget that came to me. It's not a quote, it's for me, but this download I received is when you want to do something long term, you don't do it based on hype. You do it based on information. When you want to do something long term, you don't do it based on hype. You do it based on information. I'm trying to help you, to guide you and help you through the change when you really want to do it, because it requires work. And I'm only interested to work with people who are ready to do the work. If you are ready to do the work, then we can do something. When you have, that's why I suggest taking the beginner course first. And then when you come through that course, if you feel like, yes, I still want to do this, that's when we can talk. That's when we can have a conversation and we can work on the plan and getting you into that lifestyle. You may not need to talk to me after the course. You may be, that is giving you a lot of information to get started on your own. Or if you listen to the course and then you change your mind, that's also an indication as well. But it's going to at least get you to the place where, okay, I know what I'm getting into now. I'm still ready to go. Let's do this. And that's where I want you to be. I want you to be in that place of, okay, let's do this. I want to do this for my health. I love myself enough that I want to take care of me the best way that I can. And so I'm willing to do the work. So thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. I hope that something in this has helped you on your journey, on wherever you're at in the journey, and give yourself grace for where you're at. It's okay. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm not trying to force anyone. I simply want to help you. And I want to be here when you are ready to make that decision to change your life. Talk to you soon. Have a great week. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Grown and Vegan Life podcast. For more great content, visit grownandvegan.com. If you are interested in changing to a vegan lifestyle but don't know where to start, check out the grownandvegan.com shop tab and take my beginner vegan course. Or if you are past the beginner phase and are ready to take your journey farther, schedule a coaching session with me. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode.